Okay. What's up? See, I got two people in here. One of them is me and one of them is you. Huh? Somebody talk to me. Let me know who that is in here. Might be too late at night.
It's loving trucking.
What's up? What's up? I see you loving and trucking. I'll give you that mic back.
Scoot over. I don't know if they can see me. Where you at? I don't know what screen you're looking to.
Right here. Just hit this.
Okay.
You in there?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I just got through watching the live view of Loving and Trucking It, and I was listening to his wife's story about how she handled the mountains last night. And with me being a new driver, that was one of my fears, and that is something I'm still working on because I don't like the downgrades when it's wet. So I go extra slow. I'm like 40 miles per hour. And I don't know.
30.
30.
She's talking about 40 miles per hour.
If he sleeps, it's probably 30. But I don't like the, going down the downgrade when it's wet, when it's icy, when it's raining, because in my mind, I'm afraid that I will, slide, and that's the thing I don't want to do.
Right,
But
right.
my husband tells me otherwise.
Well, the thing to do is pull over.
Pull over.
And that's what I always tell her,
I was on I-5 and was that in Oregon, not Cabbage Patch, but it's like right when you leave I-5 from California to Oregon, and it has those curves that go around. Was it Grants Pass? I don't know where it's at, or Medford.
Probably that Medford.
Yeah.
Medford.
I don't like it.
Or when you first get into Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's right before Medford, but I forget the little name of the town.
Yes. So I feel her pain when she says, going through those mountains, and you definitely have to be focused and strong. And that's what I like about night driving, because there's not a whole lot of traffic around me, so I can take my time going down the mountain. So.
Right.
Who else we got on here? I see we got 3 people on here. We haven't been live on in a bit because we used to be able to go live on our phones, but YouTube changed the requirements that we had to have over 1,000 subscribers before we can go back online. So the only option it gave us was to go online via laptop. So since we're home and got some good signal, we figured we'd come on live and say hey to everybody.
Yes, she did. 30 miles per hour the whole way down.
Yes, sis, I understand. Yes. 30 miles the whole time. Like I said, you got to know your comfort level, because if you're new, like I was last year coming into the winter time, you just can't really gauge what the weather's going to be like. It says 30 degree weather, but it's like I could not gauge what the highway, the street was like. So I wasn't taking any caution on
you
driving.
mean any chances?
Any chances, I'm sorry, any
being
chances.
cautious, huh?
Yes. I was being cautious, so.
Right. See if I can get this on my phone so I can help you read
the comments.
Because I can't see them.
Now, if you guys ever get a chance, please check out Love and Trucking It. They are a brand new couple that are with Swift. You can find them on Instagram and YouTube. I've been watching them from once they first started, when they couldn't get in the truck together, and I would see his wife put posts in there, and I was wondering why the company wouldn't let them train together.
What up, Team 48? I
didn't
mean to cut you off, babe.
Oh.
What's up, y'all? What's up, fam?
But yeah, I definitely enjoying their journey, just how they've been working through things, how they've been showcasing their journey online, because you got a lot of new drivers or people that are potential drivers that really want to know what it's like to become a new driver in this industry. Hey, Team 48. I didn't want to cut my little spiel off, so I was trying to finish that. But hey, Team 48. Like I say, once we get to Atlanta, hopefully you guys are home one weekend. We can definitely catch up and have dinner. We've met a lot of trucking couples from YouTube on the road. I mean, it's a lot of couples that are doing it, making that sacrifice, making the money out there. And it's just nice to see other couples out there really pulling together to make this OTR thing work, because it is hard being away from home, especially if you're used to, like myself, working in the office. You're used to being home every day, and now you make the transition to washing your clothes at the truck stop, taking showers, using baby wipes. I mean, things I never thought that I would have to do outside of a normal office, I'm now doing in a truck. So it's taught me a lot about trucking and some of the sacrifices you have to make to reach the greater goal. So it's a lifestyle that's not for everybody, and that's what our YouTube and other couples' YouTube videos is meant to do, is to help those that don't know what the OTR life is about. And we want to be as honest as possible, because I would hate for somebody to come out here thinking they heard about OTRs, making money, this and that, but then they don't know about the part that you may have to stay out weeks at a time, or your dispatch can't get you home when you need to get home, or loads fail and cancel, so you have to sit until they can find you another load. You know, whatever the case may be, things happen out here, and we just want to make sure we are definitely giving those gems to all the drivers to let them know that this is trucking, you know.
That's what they say, DIS B TruckN, y'all.
This is trucking, the real life trucking. Definitely a learning experience, so that's what we're here for. Like I said, I really enjoy everybody that comes on and watches our channel. We are thankful to be home, and we've been off for about 3.5 weeks. Not because neither one of us are sick.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long.
We just working from home.
That's what he says, working from home. So it's nobody's been sick. We just came home to do our taxes. It started off as coming home to do some taxes, and 3.5 weeks later, we still home.
Well, like I say, I'm gonna go to work sometime this week. We're gonna get back out here. I see y'all out there running the miles.
Yes,
you got to.
When
you're new to it, you definitely got to be true to it, though.
That's it.
You know,
that's the best learning experience.
You know, you was asking about, you know, leveling up in this, but that's where it all starts. You know, getting out there and understanding how to, you know, run them miles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can level up to that next level.
And you guys came in at a great time, because it's usually the slow time right after the Christmas holiday rush until now. So you guys did your training right around the February, March time frame. So you guys seen the slow and basically come into some better freight, hopefully in the spring, summer, despite all the craziness of this virus. You know, I'm not sure what that's going to turn out to, but you guys are coming in at a good time because you guys are seeing the snow first. So when it does become spring and summer, rain and sun is going to be the easy part of driving. So you might have to deal with bad weather in the south, I guess. But once you get past that snow season, it seems like the rest is easier to deal with, I guess, weather-wise, especially if you're a night driver.
Yeah, we took a nice little break here, Team 48. We just chilled.
Yeah, nice.
You know, just more than anything, when I got home, did the taxes and things like she said, got everything into the account and everything. But and then I was just looking at the load board, and really, you know, freight was kind of slow. And then you know, with warehouses starting to look at what they're gonna do as far as shipping things out, you know, with this whole coronavirus scare. I mean, it's crazy. I was watching a YouTuber today, well, I think you told me about that, babe, about the them having to put police.
Yeah, it was
watching trucks where they park because of the type of freight they had.
Right, they were like a family dollar
in.
driver, and they had like toilet paper, so they actually had to call the sheriff out to watch the trailer until they opened up the next morning, because people were looting, they stole one trailer or robbed one trailer, so they had to put authorities on this next one until somebody came. So it's getting real crazy out there, which is a shame that we have to be reactive instead of proactive, you know, people out there.
Right. So. But yeah, so. But anyway, yeah, like I say, we go back to work here in a bit. We'll be back out there probably Thursday or Friday, and we'll be running it hard for, when you got to come back. Baby got to come back home in a couple of weeks because her daughter's having some surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mom got to take care of the baby. Yeah, she wants her mother's TLC.
She come back home, and I'll probably, well, it depends on how long she has to do that. I might go out solo, but we'll see as far as that goes. We got a couple things coming up, so because we be hitting
we got
Jamaica.
Our anniversaries with
our
Jamaica.
Anniversaries on the 18th of June.
And then Essence Fest in New Orleans in July.
Yeah, we always do Essence Fest down in New Orleans.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah. says she restored my sanity speaking on that annual banking test. Oh my goodness. I was so nervous that day. And I've been dreading this day for probably the last 6 months because I knew, like, since I'm the night driver, I do the driving at night and my husband does the deliveries. Most of the time, 99% of our deliveries are in the daytime on his shift.
Right.
I might get the 1% where I may have to do it at night. So my backing skills, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, is not the strongest because I don't have to. Once we switch out for the day, I usually pull into a truck stop fuel aisle and he either fuels up, whatever the case, we do our 15-20 minute pre-trip, post-trip in the fuel aisle, then I pull up and then he does whatever he does in there and then we kind of drive off. So parking is still working action right now. I'm not going to say it's not working, but it's still something I have to work on. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't do it enough to be proficient at it. And I knew when I had to do my annual test, I didn't know what trainer I was going to get or instructor and how they were going to critique me, because I figured if I drove out and he drove back, they would make him back and not me. But they made us both do it. So it's like, oh no. And then it was like in the busiest part of the day, when people are trying to get their fuel and they're trying to leave for the day. So they made me flustered and nervous because she's standing there with her clipboard. They're trying to get in the fuel aisle and bypass the parking spot. So that got me. But
oh, my bad. I just finally got that pulled up.
Thank you.
No, what was you saying?
I don't know. You threw me off with that. Interrupt you that heard me kind of echo. Girl, let's see. I get it. That's
Team 48, where are you all?
Wake up, hubby, and back that. Yes. Use your resources. Wake up that hubby and ask for help. And I try not to wake him up because he do be asleep. But when this stuff I'm stuck into, a rest stop that people pull, behind me or in front of me, then I help wake him up and have him help me get out. But I try my best to do it because that's the one thing I don't want him to come back. It's like, did you try to do it? And I don't want to lie and say, yeah. So I said, well, at least let me attempt to do it. And if I can't get it, I don't want to tear our truck up because that's our truck. So I can't tear up the business trying to not wake him up. So
yeah. Well, I mean, and when you think about it, teaming, that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. You're teaming. You want to work together. Basically, I mean, she knows. I always tell her if she gets into a spot, when she realizes she can't do it, wake me up.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And that's the thing that since we are husband and wife, it's easy to trust your spouse more, especially when he tells me to back. Because ladies, how you get to a truck stop and you have other guys trying to get you to back. And everybody's like, you got two over here, you got one behind you telling you to go, and nobody's really watching out for your well-being. But as soon as my husband gets out there, he's like, don't listen to nobody, listen to me. And I'm like, okay. So, I'm trying to focus on him, and you still got that one guy that's in his truck looking at me, telling me to back in. So the benefit of running with your spouse, they're not going to let you tear up anything. They're going to have your best interest. The goals that you guys have together is genuine goals. He's not trying to go home earlier than me. We're on the same plan. So it's really a benefit of teaming with your spouse if you can. But I know everybody can't do it because one spouse may like driving. You hear a lot of wives that prefer to be at home with their kids, which is understandable. So the husband has to go out solo. So it just works.
Yeah, that's the best thing, loving and trucking. Let her know that she has that pass to wake you up whenever she needs you. That's just the best thing.
That's it.
And that's just like driving in the snow. I tell her all the time, once you realize, because I have to actually trust her judgment if she's driving at night. I got to trust her judgment to make the right decision. And, not trying to, do something that, hell, I wouldn't even do it myself,
right.
I mean, like you say, once it starts getting so bad to where, chains and stuff like that, the road is icing up and I would pull over myself. So I need to trust her judgment to know that, hey, babe, just pull it over, park it, we wake up and start when it thaws out, you know.
That's the best bet. And plus, you can see in the day shift, you have better vision than me, because it's like, why me fight if I got 100 miles worth of snow and I'm just inching at 30 miles per hour? I'm defeating the purpose. I'm almost burning more fuel just inching away, where he may see more and it's thought out. He'll do better than I do at night. So
right. Well, you know, here's the thing about night driving. Understand this, especially in, I mean, you know, we're fixing to come into the spring, summer, so, you know, things are getting better and better. But wintertime, temperatures drop. If there's moisture, there's always the chance of black ice out there too. You know, Babe had a little scary experience on US 95 one night where a driver lost it in front of her.
yes,
You know, so
that was scary.
that, you know,
And
you
he was
just don't, you know, you got to understand it might not always be you. You know, it could be someone that messes up in front of you or behind you,
right?
That could put you in a bad situation. So it's really better to, you know, not even be out there when the road conditions, you know, deteriorate. So that's how I look at it anyway.
That's true. I'm trying to say I do the fueling and all the fiscal. Now, see, my husband has trained me to now fuel. So I've been fueling for the last 7 months, and I have now been strong enough to wash my own windows now, because he used to clean my windows for me, and he'll do it every once in a while, but I have now gained the strength to wash the windows.
Of the truck.
So I fuel on my shift, I wash the windows, I do all that.
But yeah, I have turned that, you know, you can grab that hose, babe. Don't wake me up for that.
I don't wake you up. That's what I said. I'll go ahead and mess with the fuel.
But I try to always fuel when it's my shift anyway, you know. But there's times that I'm trying to buy the cheaper fuel. You know, for instance, if I'm in Cali and she's driving out of Cali, you know, fuel is cheaper for me in Arizona than Cali. So
the camera. You're out of the camera. You might want to scoot
a little bit. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the fuel is cheaper for me in Arizona than Cali. So if it happens to fall on her shift that we need fuel, I think I trained her well on how to slide that card in there, you know.
And that's the thing, we don't even slide the card. He telling the story, we actually use a mobile app and put all that. I don't know why he said slide the card. We use the Pilot app mobile and then get a code to put in there.
That's true.
But he says, how do you handle black ice?
How do you handle black ice? Well, first of all, ice is ice. But the thing with black ice, you don't know it's there. So it's more about trying to determine if it's black ice, and if it is, you need to just get off the road. You know, that's what that is. And I would say few ways you can determine that there's black ice. If there's moisture, understand any moisture can freeze. So even if you think about fog is, I'm not a weather person, but fog is something like, it has moisture. And if you've ever driven in fog when it's kind of cold, and you know how the fog will start to freeze on your windshield, guess what? It's going to do the same thing on the roadway if it drops that low. If it's rained or snowed a little bit earlier and there's still some moisture on the roadway, and the temperature drops, well, you got a chance of having black ice. So with those things, you know, you just kind of, like I say, it's more determining if there's black ice and what can cause it. And then understand 9 times out of 10, temperature drops below 32 degrees and there's moisture on the roadway, that moisture is going to freeze. So you have black ice at that point. And you know, as far as driving on it, it's not until you go to hit your brakes or something like that, or get into a turn or a curve, or, you know, miss a shift if you're shifting, you know, that type of thing that might make that truck kind of jerk, that might send you into a, you know, a slide or something like that. But, you know, as far as, I mean, you roll across it, but it's like I say, it's, once it's there, it's better, especially at night. It's better to, if you even think you have black ice, it's better to get off, you know,
and
get off the road.
I'm sorry, babe. And the one thing that my husband taught me is, like, when I'm driving at night, to look at other trucks ahead of me and see the splashback. So if I see splashback coming back from other 18-wheelers, then the road is not frozen. Or check the back of my mirrors to see if it's been freezing, like the water and stuff has started to freeze in the back of my mirrors, to determine how cold it is or how far the temperature has dropped. Because there's times that I've gotten down to 24 degrees and I'm like creeping across the highway. My husband's like, babe, I checked the forecast and there's been no moisture for the past 24 hours. But in my mind, I'm thinking anytime it's under 32 degrees, the road is freezing. He's like, no, babe, no, it has to have moisture to freeze. But I'm just playing it safe. You know, you tell me 24, I went from 60 down to 45 on I-20. So I'm gonna be honest with you. But I'm learning to watch other tractors, trucks, you know, 18-wheelers that go past me, to check for the splashback to determine if it is black ice. But if I don't see nothing, then I will pull over and go to a truck stop, and then basically look on the weather app, and it tells you if it's difficult driving conditions. So I'll gauge that to see if I'm going to go any further and wake up my husband to make the call if we're going to shut down or what we will do.
What's up, Papa Wama Jama?
Hey.
Yeah, and black ice is the worst.
Yes, it is, because you can't see it. You really can't.
That's just it. It is the worst. I mean, I don't know no other way to describe it.
Worse, it's scary.
You know?
And that's the thing, especially like if you go in places like Texas, places that don't normally get snow and they're not prepared for it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, they're not prepared for ice like that, you know? So when you see people driving too fast for conditions, especially four-wheelers that drive past you, and then they're the main ones you see in the medium because they turned the curve too fast, then that's what I know is black ice. When I start seeing cars in different spots of the highway that have spun off, that's when I know I got to start to slow down, because something has caused them to have that reaction. That's a real indicator right there. 40, what's your average speed at night, babe? 60, between 59 and 60. I'm not the fastest driver at nighttime, because my eyes really do. We have a Kenworth T680, and the bulbs are not really strong on the truck, so it makes it hard for me to see at night unless I hit the brights. But most of the time I have people coming towards me, so I have to flicker it on and off. So my comfortable speed to set on the cruise is 59, 60. That way I can still scan my mirrors and be able to basically know if I see the deer on the side, you know, I'm watching on the side, or if I know I'm starting to get a little bit fatigued, I'm at a safe speed that I can basically get myself pulled off, because I never want to go too fast and then forbid doze off and then I'm somewhere that I'm not supposed to be. So I do a safe speed for me, and then let Dispy do most of the miles in the morning, because he's usually about 68.
Well, you know, I mean, when you think about it, though, you know, with that average speed of about 60 miles per hour that she's doing, she's going to make good time, because she doesn't have the same traffic and, you know, the stop and go that I would have to deal with during the daytime, you know. So she's still getting 450, 500, 550 at night. But some mornings I wake up and baby done knocked out 700 miles, and I'm like, you didn't stop for nothing, did you? Because I know she didn't go no faster.
It's rare. When I get to 700, it's rare. 680, 7 is rare. For a fact. Because I would have to, if we're going home, that momentum, that motivation, no bathroom break, except my 30, I'm driving all my miles to get home because I'm ready to come home. But if we go into stop to stop, you might get me at 560. 580.
Pretty Ty
Sometimes
said
600.
55 to 60 for her.
That's it.
That's good. I mean, you're gonna get
got to
good
go
miles
fast.
because, like I say, you don't have the traffic,
Right.
that type of thing.
Especially being new, you want to gauge your safe speed because what's good for him may not be good for me and you as being new drivers. He's been doing it for 20 years, so he knows what it feels like. He knows his safe speed. He knows his MPG he needs to be at. Where me, I'd match the gas and I don't know anything about the MPG. So that's probably why I stay at 59 and below to make sure I'm not burning up the most fuel.
Yeah.
But like I say, you knew you just find your safe speed.
That's it.
Definitely got to find your safe speed.
Well, she said I've been driving 20 years. Actually, I've been in the industry for 20 years. But, I've been a classroom instructor.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have 12 to 14 years actually driving, in that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. 12 to 14 years is probably actually driving, but the other times I was either teaching classroom or something like that. I've been over the road, or what they call them, I think over here at Schneider, they call them training engineers, but,
Mm-hmm.
But I've been a road trainer for new students, that type of thing.
Right.
So.
And that's how we met. We met at work. I used to be a driver manager. So driver leader, driver manager of drivers. I had between about 50 to 60 drivers beneath me, and he was the trainer. So anytime I got a new driver, they would go see him and get their week's worth of training, and then he would give me his assessment, and then they would come back up under me. So the long hours of being a manager and the hours of being a trainer, well, I guess it was bound to happen. We got together. So
Yeah, hey, I would say, I see y'all's truck governed at 65. Is that because y'all a team?
Oh, that's it.
Because I know Schneider governs their solos at 63, and then their teams are at 65.
65, yeah.
It might go 66.
Yeah,
like
that's how they're governed as well. They sleep so well when we're driving, but when they're driving, the RPM are running so low and loud. Yes. Yes. So we both have plenty of experience in the transportation industry in some shape or form. So
right.
We definitely like to give our lend a handout if you guys ever need help. Our new drivers, like I said, you got a trainer here, you got an ex-driver manager that knows about the transportation industry. I've done it all, drivers come through, they had to do the randoms. I had to have drivers trained through him. I used to create budgets and plans for my customers. So it's like me, I'm multitask. Driving for me is a little bit harder because I'm used to my head's always working numbers or plans or something. So to sit behind the wheel and drive, sometimes I have to listen to the podcast and the music to kind of keep my mind going because that's what my mind is used to doing. It's multitasking it all the time. So if we can ever help a new driver out, new couple, like I said, you got the experience here, you got the knowledge, make sure you please reach out to us, via YouTube, Instagram. Our email address is also on the any YouTube video. If you look in the description part of the any video we put out, it does have our email address on there. So feel free to hit us up with any questions, concerns about the driving industry, and we would love to help you guys.
Yeah, the little audio studio that we're in here, this is what I did in this
3 weeks.
This time off.
And he said it was for me, but I think it's more for him.
A lot of it's for her because she I don't know if you guys, well, she'll tell you ladies, she has a podcast that she does on her own channel, but so I thought I'd throw the studio together. But where I was going with that is what I want to do as far as with this with the little studio thing here is when I'm at home, do live videos, and I got me a little system so that you guys will be able to call in and actually, do it, like a call-in show. So I'll be able to do that. Well, really, I could do that now. If any one of y'all want to call in and test it, because I ain't played with it a lot.
He says she does the night driving, fuels the truck, and cleans the windows. You need to be on your best behavior, boss. That's what he said.
I am. Really, I am. Believe me. She does. I mean, you know, but the night driving, to me, I believe would be it would be hard for me, you know. My eyes just aren't as good as they used to be when I was younger. You know, you say all company trucks, okay, all of them are at 65.
65. Oh, okay.
Team or so long. Yeah.
Team 48 said her husband has 14 years and she has about 2.5 years.
Okay. Oh, well, we're about the same.
Yeah, about the same. So
because you're about 2 years as far as driving.
Yeah, so yeah, about neck and neck.
Because you had about what'd you have, a year and a half of a half a year of company. How long did they make you stay company?
It was 6 months company, a year with him as owner operator, but he also trained me a year and a half before I came to company.
Oh, so, yeah, she was in the truck with me.
He taught me from beginning to end. Like, he just put me in the truck day one and taught me for a year and a half how to drive a truck. And then I went to company for 6 months and then owner operator for a year. So
yeah, see,
it's been a long journey.
I thought they was gonna let me. I thought they was gonna let, you know, once she got her CDL and being that she worked for Schneider, that they were just going to let her get in the truck with me and let me train her. That didn't work out. They said she had to go through their program. So what I did is I parked my truck for 6 months.
It's about 3 months.
3 months?
Because remember, you were still solo. I went to truck driving school for the 4 weeks while you went solo. And then I went to Schneider school for another 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then
so
you finally came off the road and parked your truck. And then we teamed together as a couple.
Okay. Yeah. So, but anyway, I parked my truck and I went back to the company side so that until she finished up her, I guess they wanted her to do 6 months of company before they'd let her become an owner operator.
Which helped. It did. It did really help.
So, okay.
I think it runs.
You can run 67 for 30 minutes per day.
Oh shoot, that ain't even worth it for 30 minutes. Yeah, 67. That's not worth it.
I bet you be using that up too, huh? Every day, huh? For 30 minutes, you own it.
That's crazy. That's not even worth it.
Well, you got to understand. This is one thing. Now, loving and trucking, you say you're looking at leveling up. That's one thing you're going to learn is fuel management. And there's a reason that Swift, Schneider, and all those big companies got all those trucks, is they trying to manage that fuel. And you'll realize that if you get out here and you become an owner-operator or something like that, because especially the fuel is just, I mean, it's going to be your biggest operating costs. And if you don't manage it, you can throw a whole bunch of money away. You know, and the way to management, of course, is to drive at a decent speed. I mean, you know, just because the truck goes 70 and 75, you ain't gonna be wanting to do that, you know, day in and day out, because literally you'll spend $100 to $150 more a week on fuel, you know, and might not seem like a lot, but when you think $100, just say $100 a week at 52 weeks, well, that's $5,000 that could have went to the bottom line of your business that you just gave away. So, yeah, there's some method to the madness, I guess.
Yes, we all learn it now. Learn it. Team 48 said, I admire the commitment, discipline.
Well, thank you. But yeah.
Cheers, kid me.
All right, Papa Wama Jama, stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe and stay from the Kung Flu virus. Stay safe as well.
Yeah, that Kung Flu, huh?
Keep yourself up. Be safe out there. Thank you for watching. But yeah, we're glad that you guys came on tonight. We usually don't do, like I said, live videos because we don't have it on our phone. But since we're home, we figured we'd come on and put a face to the name so you guys can actually get some interaction. We can actually talk to you guys. And hopefully down the line, when all this clears up, we can have a couples meet up. You know, there's plenty of couples or drivers that are out there that I would love to meet in person. And usually we do something at the last 2 years at GATS down in Dallas, Texas, meet up with other drivers and get an Airbnb. And last year we was with Beauty and the Beast last year in Dallas, Texas, and we got an Airbnb and we just hung out for 3 days. I mean, we really had a good time. Hook up with Miss Pearl. Right. And Choice Maz and Tiffany, so the awesome trucker. So it was a lot of truckers that we got to meet out there and hung out and had dinner with. So like I said, hopefully when all this clears up, we can definitely have a meet and greet and where we can just hang out, pick a spot, and just really get to, you know, get out the truck, stretch your feet, and just do something fun besides the truck. So
yeah, and hey, loving and trucking it. What was the date of the birthday party? And what, I think, I say, was it Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia.
Somewhere in Virginia?
On the 19th of April, the week of. Yes, Team 48. Keep you guys in mind. Like I said, some of the last few months, we was going through Atlanta at least once every 2 weeks. And I was like, I didn't know you guys' schedule, and I don't have your number to call you. And if I do, forgive me for not remembering it. But I just didn't know when your schedule was to call you guys, because sometimes we dropped off on Friday night and our next load didn't pick up till Monday night. So we kind of sat there and got an Uber and found things to do in Atlanta. But I know you told me your weekend. You guys usually home on the weekends in Atlanta, so hopefully we can find some time.
Oh yeah, we gotta hook up. We gotta hook up. Yeah, I got a real good buddy that well, hell, we've been buddies for about 20 years now. Mm-hmm. Over. Shoot, we probably got 30 years in. Yeah. But he was in the military with me. But that lives in Atlanta. So
yeah, we find things to do. That's the one thing, when you become owner-operator, you have a little bit more freedom of stopping and going. Because in the company, we didn't have that much freedom. We actually had to keep going and keep driving because we were on company time, so we couldn't make those stops like we wanted to. But once we became owner-operator again, we definitely make our own schedule.
Yeah, she got spoiled out there when she was with me that
first year.
That first year,
and he's a solo driver.
She was just kind of over there in that seat learning.
Reading him books, and I thought this is the life of OTR, but it shocked me when I had to get in the truck and we both had to drive. I'm like, we ain't pulling over tonight, the truck stop. He's like, no, we're a team. We keep going.
Team now. We finna roll.
And every time I drove past the truck stop and seen everybody sleep, and I was like, dang it.
We stay out, really, we stay out probably
sometimes
6 to 8 weeks at a time, you know, even longer. Well, I mean, if you kind of follow, especially like on Instagram, we don't mind staying out because, like I say, you know, my babe, she my travel agent, you know. So after we done ran hard for say 5-6 days in a row, you know, it's like, okay, babe, we gonna be here. What's there? You know, what can we go check out? What can we do while we're there? You know, we'll take a 34-hour restart or something like that. You know, but
yeah, usually about 6 to 8 weeks, and then like you should talk towards the 6 and 8 week time frame, I'm ready to go home. So all of a sudden he'll hear me start complaining about a little bit of stuff, and he's like, even though we might have went somewhere on the weekend, it's nothing like home. It's like being in your own bed. You want to get to your own clothes. You want to use your own washing machine, because sometimes the ones at the truck stop don't be the best. They don't wash your clothes good, or they got lint and stuff when you pick them back up. They just don't do a good job on your clothes, and that's why I hate buying new clothes to wear out here for them to get mangled up in these nasty washing machines. So just being at home, it gives a new, you know, it makes me happy for some reason. I guess because I see my family. You know, I get to see the kids, to see the grandkids. My parents are here in Colorado, my sisters and stuff. So I get to come home and see everybody, and it makes me, I guess, my cup fill back up to go back on the road for another 6 to 8 weeks. But you got to get out the truck. I mean, some people want to grind for 6, 9, 12 months, and some can, and I don't knock that. But for me, I got to have a break in between when I can come home and check on the house and see how the family's doing. So I'm able to go back out again for another 6 to 8 weeks, you know, with a clear mind. So.
Team 48, you guys say it slowed down for you guys? Was it the freight? Is that what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah, because it said they stayed out more due to the freight. Yeah, the freight slowed down for a lot of people. And I guess probably more owner-operators notice it than company drivers, because usually the company can kind of keep you moving without you really noticing. And if you do stop, you're probably glad to stop anyway if the freight did slow down. So, hey, who else we got on here? I said we have 8 people on here, and I only see 2 couples commenting, and my single driver, Papa Wama, had to leave. So,
y'all shout out. Who's that?
We got somebody else.
Who else is in here with
somebody
us?
Creeping from the back that's not saying nothing. At least say hello. Put a wave, fist pump, a little mask saying, hey.
Hit the dislike button or something.
Hit the like button. Don't say dislike. Dislike. We just want to make sure we shouting out everybody that's coming on here. They said, yes, we move consistently. Yeah, usually with the company drivers, they do try to keep them moving because they have that map to find where freight is, where we have to pick our own loads and we only see what they show us that we could pick. So I'm sure it's different for us. She said, yes, our 2 dedicated went to 1. Oh, gotcha. So that's what changed up. Yeah, you see a lot of companies that are going, like trucking companies, that are starting to shut some of their doors down, even before this virus deal. You know, companies that are big companies. So that's one big company, but a lot of companies are shutting their doors down. It's just, I guess it's not moving like they want to. So either they're shutting one line of business down or shutting down a warehouse or something. But it's going on. So.
That's what it is. But you know, them mega carriers, they'll be here.
Oh yeah,
somebody got to move the freight.
Yeah,
you know, that's all it is.
Oh yeah, they'll be here, and I believe that. But make sure you guys take care of yourself as well, because the mega carriers are gonna look out for themselves before they look out for you. So make sure your finances is right. If you don't have a plan already to have your money or have a certain goal of money to set aside, like if you want to buy your own truck or if you're trying to get out of debt or get out of trucking altogether, make sure you have an exit plan handy, ready, and know what the numbers are so you know the goal you're working at, because it makes it a lot easier to run over the road and be away from home if there's a goal in mind. So as always, like I say, be proactive instead of reactive. Ain't nothing like not having no money and then have to do what you got to do to get it. So be strong, be strong.
Say facts. Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Gotta do it. Hey, April Phillips. Got a new subscriber. How are you today?
What's up? How you doing, Miss Phillips?
Saying hey.
We just sitting here chopping it up. That's all it is, you know. That's all it is.
Saying hi to everybody. And I'm glad that, like I said, we are home, getting some much needed time off. And me, I know this is off the subject, but I have to turn the news and the media off with this whole virus situation because there's so many news sources, people saying the wrong information. It is creating an epidemic. And it's like, you know, if I turn this off and go clean the closet, do some workout videos or do some business videos, I'm not worried what's going on, because this news can make us go crazy thinking the world is about to end and the virus is killing every 3rd person on the block. So I just know I got to remove myself from the internet and the news right now because it's getting crazy. So, she said, Pretty Ty said we are helping her with their drive. Ain't nothing like when somebody's talking to you on your shift. Because I try to get my husband to sit with me, but he always sneaks back there after 25 minutes. He starts yawning mysteriously, and then he'll shut the curtains and go back and play solitary for 3 hours and then finally go to sleep. I'm like, well, you could have sat with me for, how long you play solitary?
3-4 minutes for
Don't even do it, babe.
You know how I fall asleep.
I hear that computer still.
I don't know what that computer doing, but I'll be asleep.
You are playing that solitaire. I asked him, babe, sit up in front for me for a little bit. That way it makes the drive go by faster. He back in the back. It don't take him more than 25 minutes. You start yawning and he's all turning in the seat and he just looking all out the window. I'm like, hey, really?
If y'all check our videos,
you can sit
if
here.
you go back in our older videos, she talk about me time, how she needs me time. So
see, don't
I give it to her. That's all that is.
Don't tell that story. Don't even tell that story. Because it's like we have a long shift and you give me after that, I got 8 hours to myself of me time. You can at least give me 1 hour just to sit and communicate. Because you don't see him. If you're a team, you guys are just kind of passing it away sometimes. You driving, he's sleeping, and vice versa. So sometimes it's good to catch up. What you see? Was there an accident? What was the weather like? You know, I want to know. Catch me up on what happened on your shift. And then when I'm finished with my shift, I always tell them, I make sure I find something interesting every night to make my night go by faster. It's been so many shooting stars I've seen, and I'm in awe, you know.
That's that newness, you know.
Maybe that's what it is.
I've been out here so long, you know, I'm not intrigued by that. So, or it doesn't, you know, it doesn't stick like.
Oh, is that what it is?
You know, it doesn't. It doesn't stick like, oh, that was exciting. You know, I see it and move on. I gotta find stuff to keep my mind going. You know, because who is the other 8 people in here?
I don't know, babe. Good night, Team 48. They're headed to Connecticut in the morning.
All right, y'all.
You
be
guys
safe.
Be safe. Thank you for joining us.
You know what they say. Keep the rubber on the road.
That's it. You guys be safe going up there. But yeah, I do, you guys. I try to find something every night to keep me, especially the night shift. If you look for too long, it just kind of gets mundane. It's just dark. So I find things. I find deer to look at. I find wild hogs, you know, trucks turned the wrong way. It's just little things that keeps my mind intrigued throughout the night. But it would be nice to have my husband come sit with me for a little bit and keep the conversation going. So when he does go back, then I can get on my podcast or my audio books, things of that nature to keep me, keep me entertained.
Well, I'm gonna keep that in mind.
You keep that.
Yeah.
So you already said keep it in mind. He said he was gonna do it. He said he's gonna keep it in mind.
I'm not gonna mislead you.
Not gonna mislead you.
I'm not gonna mislead you.
Oh my goodness, see, I don't understand it. I don't get it, y'all. Mislead me. You're supposed to be there.
Yeah. All right.
Say.
We had the 3 dropped off because I asked him to show up.
It's late. Well, some people could be late depending on the coast you're on.
Right. Well, anyway, y'all, like I said, we just wanted to check in, and you know, really, I just kind of wanted to see how this equipment was working. I did a little short audio test the other night, about 2 o'clock in the morning. But want to see how the audio and the video sounded.
Sounded good.
Look like we're doing pretty good over here. Like I say, I will be able to take phone calls. So the next time I come on here, I'll be set up for that, so we can really chop it up.
We enjoyed you guys too, loving and trucking it. We really did. Thank you guys for coming on. And like I say, as it gets further down the line and I get more my business going for my podcast, I would definitely let everybody know. Basically, I help women with self-development, and that's always been my passion, of helping women. So like I said, I have my own business and then my own podcast that I do on a weekly basis. Just last week, my husband was on, and we did an interview on the effects of the early stages of our relationship and how sometimes a bad relationship can damage your new one. So he was a guest of mine that came on and did an awesome interview to, you know, give his perspective from the male point of view. So I'm getting my podcast going. So just a little bit at a time. I figure while I'm home, I better optimize on all the free time and get all my content and everything ready. So when it's time to go full-fledged, I got it there. But thank you guys for watching us tonight. We appreciate you guys for spending 55 minutes with us, probably one of our longest live videos. But thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to our new subscribers. And if you have not subscribed yet, what you waiting for?
And for all y'all that see this on the replay, like, share, and subscribe. We out of here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for the support. See you guys later. Boom. I don't know how to
Me neither.
We trying to see. We ain't been on live long enough to know how to end the video. We trying to figure it out. You got it.